The beast, it had wings like a bat and scales like a snake. So like a dragon. No, not a dragon, it was similar, but it had horns like a devil and it had teeth like a viper. So you're talking about a dragon. It had spines up and down its back and tail, and it breathed fire and acid. A dragon. Again, you're describing a dragon. No, not a dragon. It was some different beast. It guarded a great horde and it killed anything that came near it. So to start off my mocktail adventure, I'm starting with the most basic mocktail there is, a lime soda. But wait, Tim, is a lime soda a mocktail? Sure, a mocktail is a non-alcoholic drink. Is a mocktail is a non-alcoholic drink. Is a mocktail, whatever you want to call it. So any mixed drink with multiple ingredients without alcohol is a mocktail. So starting with the lime soda or lime Ricky. With these soda-based drinks, we're going to be using a sparkling water, club soda, whatever you want to call it, a carbonated water, and we're mixing it with lime juice and sugar. In fantasy, you've got the basic dragon, the red dragon, the classic red dragon. So I'm taking my classic red dragon, made a few tweaks. I've got something like this cave dragon. Similarly, I'm going to take my lime Ricky and I'm going to make a few tweaks, and I can show you two drinks. I can talk about a few other variations. So the template of the lime Ricky, you take and add mint to it, and you can make a mojito. Lime, sugar, mint, and soda water. You would use a white rum in a cocktail. You just omit the rum and you've got a lime mint soda. So for my first mixed mocktail today, I'm going to make a mule. So take that lime Ricky, lime, sugar, soda, change out the soda for ginger syrup and add the mint. We're going to build this in the glass. Super easy drinks here. When I'm using sparkling water, I'm generally building in the glass. That makes it real easy. The addition of the water, I stir it in the glass. I don't need to worry about shaking it because the carbonated water, first of all, you don't want to shake it. That would be bad. But also mixing it in the glass takes care of all that. And I'm not worried about dilution as much because I'm using water. I can control the amount of water that I'm putting in. I've got some big chunk ice here. I'm going to crack it right into my glass. And these big chunks of ice, they melt more consistently and more evenly because they don't have air pockets and minerals in them. I want to be generous with the ice. That's one thing, one tip I would give for drinks in general. You want to be generous with the ice. It gives you more time to drink the drink and not be worried about it diluting. I'm going to start with ginger syrup. Ginger syrup is super easy to make. You should make it at home. If you're going to make a lot of mixed mocktails, even if you aren't going to, you just like ginger beer, ginger soda, you should make your own ginger syrup, add sparkling water to it. It's cheaper, it's better, and it's super easy. You're going to take that simple syrup mixture and add ginger to it. Probably like 2 inches of ginger, like a good piece of it. Ginger is super cheap, so get a good chunk of ginger, rough chop it, put it in a blender and blend that all up, and then strain it out through a fine mesh strainer. And you've got ginger syrup. It's really good with just sparkling water on its own, and it's a really good base for a lot of these mocktails. So for my mule, this is my main flavor, so I'm going to use 1.5 ounces of ginger syrup. That was a little more than 1.5 ounces. That's okay. And then I'm going to use about 1/2 ounce of lime juice, and then I'm just going to top it with soda water. I'm going to use about 1/2 of this can. When I'm stirring something that has syrup at the bottom, I kind of want to drag up and pull and go from top to bottom because my syrup settles on the bottom and I want to make sure that it gets mixed in. I'm going to take my lime that I've got here and just cut a wedge out of it. I want to give the person I'm drinking, me in this case, an opportunity to add more lime if they want it. If you're adding a lime wedge, it's saying to the person, hey, add as much lime as you want. If you're adding a lime wheel, it's saying, hey, there's lime in this drink, be prepared. Okay, I got my lime. Now I'm going to add a sprig of mint. I could muddle the mint in this, but in a drink that I'm not going to strain, I don't like to muddle herbs because it just breaks it up and then there's little pieces of the herb in the drink. I don't want to do that. I just want this to be fragrant in my face when I drink. So I'm going to bruise the mint and release its essential oils and then garnish with it right there so that when I drink it, it's right in my face. I could absolutely make a mint syrup and add it to this if I wanted a stronger mint flavor, and there's certainly drinks that I would do that for. For this, I just want the ginger and lime, and then I want the smell of the mint. That's delicious. That's super delicious and refreshing. serving it in the traditional copper mug. Story goes that the person who invented the mule wanted to sell vodka and copper mugs because they had an excess and they just needed to get rid of them. And so they invented the mule to get rid of those two things that nobody wanted, vodka and the copper mug. Well, they did a great job of it and they sell tons of them now. So that is delicious. Cheers. Okay, my template of the lime Ricky I used to make a mule. I could use it to make a mojito, but the last thing that I'm going to make today is a Shirley Temple. Building this in my chilled glass again. Taking about 3 pieces of big chunk ice. If you're just using ice, I would say fill it 3/4 of the way. I mean, like I said, be generous with the ice. I'm going to start with my fixed ingredient here, my grenadine. Homemade grenadine is a million times better than the store-bought grenadine. You don't want that nuclear red garbage in your house. It's not even really grenadine. Grenadine is simply pomegranate syrup. So I'm making a simple syrup with pomegranate juice instead of water. But you just want to make a 1-to-1 pomegranate juice to sugar simple syrup. Dissolve the sugar in the syrup. Now, you can add orange blossom water if you have it. I wouldn't suggest buying it just for grenadine. So this is the star of this drink. I want 1 ounce of it. I'm going to use 1.5 ounces again of sweetener like I did in the last drink, but this I'm going to split it between the grenadine 1 ounce and the ginger syrup 1/2 ounce. Giving a little bit of tartness, again with that lime. Just going to go with 1/2 ounce of lime juice here. More like 3/4 actually. Get that in there. See, my ingredients will start to striate or layer as I'm pouring them in because the heaviest ingredient goes to the bottom, or the one with the most sugar, heaviest culinarily wise, with the most sugar goes to the bottom, and then my lime juice and then my water will sit on top. Mix that up and make sure I'm taking the syrup from the bottom and helping it rise. Okay, mixed it up, made a mess. Wonderful. Last things last, get a nice cocktail cherry to garnish with. Another thing you don't want to use, the nuclear red cherries. Cocktail cherries, whatever brand you get, I don't care. They're just so much better. Add it to your drink. This drink is amazing. If you've never had a quality Shirley Temple, I suggest this highly. Cheers. Man, that is so much better than the nuclear red Shirley Temple. So there you have it. I've taken my template and I've made something new and interesting. The lime Ricky into the Shirley Temple and the mule. The red dragon into the cave dragon. These things are easy to do. They are fun to do. They give you a whole new dimension. Try it out on your own.